So for the people who wouldn't know you, can you tell us who is Yahya Sonko?
Yes, first is start by pronouncing my own name. That's Yahya Sonko. That's my name. I was born and raised in the Gambia, in Jarasoma. And I was there for my basic and secondary education, and then moved to the Combos, that's the coastal area. And I went to Newsrat High School, where I met some of very extraordinary friends like Lamin Diba, and the friendship was actually built from that area. And then from there, I was fortunate enough, or before I left the Gambia, I worked a little bit in Reliance. And then from Reliance Financial Service, then I got the opportunity to go and further my education in Turkey. So that was my first external travel. I studied there, my undergraduate degrees. During this time, I had an opportunity to go to Poland as an exchange students program. I was there for kind of like 6 months. And then from Poland, this was the time that I was curious about the world, and took my bag and did some little backpacking, travel around the eastern part of Europe. And then I came back to Turkey and completed my degree. And then after completing my degree, that wasn't enough. But because I came from a music background, I come from a griot family. My uncle is a well-renowned griot, Jali Yahya. He raised me particularly, and he's an extraordinary kora player. And this time when I went to, I was not I was not focused on playing kora here at all. I was just focused on education. But then when I traveled and I saw a kora in Sweden, this was the time when I went to Sweden for an internship in education and society. And my internship was more related to oral music. And I found a kora there, but it was very dusty. It was not in a good shape, and that really, really bothered me. I took this kora. I went, washed it, made it, and trying to tune it properly and keep it in my room, and I keep on playing it. I had the foundation playing it here, but I improved a lot when I was in Sweden. And then I came back to Turkey, and then I continue with my educational journey alongside playing the kora. But I was never playing in any public. I was only playing in my room. So I started studying macroeconomics in Istanbul, and then I started another master's degree also in Finland, which was in leadership for change. I was focused on governance for sustainable change. So I was doing 2 masters at the same time, which was very challenging.
2 masters at the same time?
And in 2 different countries. One in Istanbul, and the other one was in Tampere.
And you still had time to play with your kora?
Yes, I had a big time playing with my kora, because kora was kind of like a therapy for me. When you get stressed, you come back to your room. I played for myself. But people or close friends begin to notice that, hey, you should actually show this talent to the world. I'm like, no, forget about it. I just have to finish my programs first. And then I completed my 2 master's degrees, and I got the opportunity to work in the President's Foundation in Finland. And it's called CMI. They have donors foundation or donors organization that fund different organizations around the world, including African Union. So my job became precisely to facilitate the money that has been passed to African Union in the political affairs, peace and security. And I was focused on preventive diplomacy. But alongside this, I keep on playing the kora. And this was the time I begin now to bring my kora to the public. But since I was not particularly looking for money in kora or playing kora, then I used the kora to advocate for things that really matters. So those are some of the things that matters was if you listen to some of my songs, it's about corruption.
Yes, one of your songs that I saw is about corruption.
It's about corruption,
So it seems like for you, the kora is an advocacy tool.
Yes.
Not like as an artist just to make money, if I can say.
Yeah. Yes, so before I come to that, I will just give you a little background about where is kora actually coming from. Kora is coming from this griot community. The griot are West African storytellers, historians, poets, journalists, and mediators, peace builders. They have so many roles that they play. And this is a very hereditary in our society, because from my uncle down to you can trace it back to over 789 years, and this tradition never stops. Within these 789 years, 400 of these years was colonial period. So even during that horrific periods in our society, this tradition never stopped. It was maintained. So that's why we feel we are so stressed to make sure that we keep this tradition, because our ancestors went through a lot. They still keep this tradition. So our time, we should also keep it. And this griot society, they play different instruments, but these instruments are not, people always think it's for entertainment. Entertainment is just one single role of this society. But the griots, they advise us to the ruling class without fear or favor. They are historians, they keep the history of the society. They are praise singers, they know every single story of the society. And they are musicians. Music is one role. They entertain the public, the society. But now that's the one that is more prominent in this society. But that's not the only role.
Praise singing.
Praise singing as well. So the kora is the tool that is used for those things. So that's the reason why I continue this role to use the instrument to advocate for things that really matter in the society by entertaining or by storytelling. So whenever you see me entertaining, know that there is a message I always want to deliver.
We're talking about your advocacy, using the kora with your advocacy work that you do. Your new song is about corruption. What inspired you to make the song, and what is the message behind it?
Yeah, thank you so much. Like I mentioned, I got the opportunity to travel around the world, but also to the continent that matters a lot to me. That is our African continent. I've been to many African countries. And subconsciously, even you don't want to do it, you will always compare. You will compare this continent and other continents. And you will see that some of the reasons why this continent has not progressed very fast is because our own makings. And that making is about the corruption that existed in many parts of this continent. Not only my own country where I come from. So when I was in Helsinki, in the studio, I asked myself, what are some of the things or some of the problems which, when they are tackled, the continent of Africa will just prosper right away. And then my mind, it was like corruption. And then I begin to write about this song, Corruption. When I wrote this song, I just played it. I played this song actually once. I didn't edit it much. I was just sitting down, and then the producer was there. The kora was tuned in this scale, and I was just playing this, and I was just freely jamming. And then the producer said, I think this is really amazing. I already recorded. I'm like, yeah, it's good. You can just keep it there. We will work on that song after. But then after, when I listened to the song, he said, no, we need to release this. We need to make this. And I said, we both agree that let's keep it that raw. Let's keep that imperfections into it. Because that's also the idea of corruption. Sometimes we want to make things super right, that we go through ways that we don't necessarily have to do. You don't have to show off. You have to say, this is me, and this is, I'm not trying to do any extra. I'm not trying to be perfect. Nobody is perfect. So that's why I wanted to keep that song in a very raw way, and just few edits, and then we released the song out. And inside the song, the lyrics, I was saying, E kuriyamani, E tilimbaliamani. It's a Mandinka language, but it's like corruption. Simply what I'm just saying is like corruption is not good. Because I've been to countries where I've seen that there is a very minimal amount of corruption, and they prosper so fast. And with our society, we have religions, we have a very, very deep and serious traditions. But with all that, the countries without putting emphasis on religion or traditions, they prosper more than us. Why? So I believe it's a corruption, and I believe that when you fight in corruption, you don't have to fight it in a very diplomatic way. You have to hold the bull by the horn right away. That's why sometimes when I see people mentioning the name who were corrupt, I like it. You don't have to be diplomatic about that. It's nothing to do with reputational damage. And some of those countries, advanced countries, they see corruption as, when you do corruption, the child who died in the hospital now, you are responsible for that. There is a direct connection to that.
Yes.
It's not even indirect connection. There's if you don't pay your tax on time, not even paying, but if you don't pay your tax on time, you avoid it, you are doing corruption, or you embezzle, or you steal money through procurement processes, you are directly linked to the people who are dying in the hospital at that moment. So that's why I believe that corruption is something that every single Gambian need to fight to make sure that there is no corruption. So that's why this is the first ever song that I have sung in my entire life that is in the air. And I make sure that this one is on corruption. All the songs that I released were classical kora, plain classical kora here and there.
When you say classical kora, does that mean without singing?
Without singing, just playing the kora.
Okay.
So I've played another song that is about like my great-grandfather's compositions and trying to continue with that tradition line. But the first ever time I have sung in a song is about this kuria, which is corruption.